Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Alhamdulillah. So I just want to kind of speak to the Muslims, man. Try to give them a little bit of words of encouragement to not give up, you know. Um, like I noticed, when the brother was saying, like he feel alone in his deen. And he would be surprised, man, that a lot of Muslims feel that way, even when they're within a community. You know, I've been in that situation. I'm in that situation now, as far as where I am, but there's good brothers that I can always hit up on the phone or just have to travel an hour or two. You know what I'm saying? But like on an everyday basis, just always around me, can go to the masjid and do things. I fulfill certain obligations with certain brothers, but we just link up really to do Jumu'ah service. They keep to themselves. You know what I'm saying? We really just link up to fulfill obligations. We cool. When they study, when they actually do lessons, we'll do that, but alhamdulillah, man, they got a long way to go, and but I won't really go into that, but a lot of Muslims, man, feel that way, man, and we in the days of some fitna, so I kind of want to talk to people about the life of the Rasul Allah in brief, because when you look at what the Rasul Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam went through and had to endure, it really don't compare to a lot of us, probably none of us. You know what I'm saying? So like just starting off, when you had to think about the Rasul really didn't have any parents. He didn't have no parents. He started off being raised by his grandfather when he was like around the age of 8, if I'm not mistaken. His grandfather passed away, so then he started being raised by his uncle. So he didn't know his parents. He's an orphan. His uncle really didn't have no bread. So, he kind of grew up poor, kind of. A lot of us don't know what it's like to be an orphan like that. No mother, no father. Alhamdulillah, he had an uncle to take him in. But just to move past some of that, so he had no parents, right? So as he grew up, an older woman, some reports say that she was 40, but there's actually some stronger reports that she wasn't 40. But we won't get into that. She was older than him, though. But real beautiful, extremely rich and wealthy woman that he was working for. He ran her businesses. He married her. The best wife that he had, according to his words, when certain of his other wives try to compare themselves to her. And she died. You know what I'm saying? The man had a very rich, wealthy, beautiful wife. He was running her businesses. Accepted Islam, had his back, comforted him, used her wealth to support Islam. Had children for him. You know, he had two baby mothers, but you know, she had children for him, and she passed away. You know, but they had four daughters, man. You know, imagine you got a rich, wealthy wife, man, that's beautiful, and you love her. And she died, man, and you got four daughters that you had to take care of. You know? You know, that's something to really think about, man. So not only did he have no parents, then as life goes on, he get him a very rich, wealthy, beautiful wife who supporting him with her bread. He works for her. He run her business, and not none of that. You know, we not talking, and we talking about even before Islam and during Islam. Not none of that, because she had more money than him. No look down on him. No, you half a man. You ain't no complete man. All that weird stuff, you know, that negativity that's been instilled in the minds of modern day Americans, right? The father of her children, man, and then she dies, man. And then she passes away. That got to be heartbreaking, man. You know what I'm saying? That's heartbreaking. Then you turn around and now you got to be, during this, you still got to be the prophet. You got to be the prophet and messenger. You was this good person, man. You was loved by everybody. Considered to be one of the most truthful and trustworthy people in the whole area, the whole region. But then when you became Muslim, it was his own family that wanted him dead. His own uncle and his uncle's wife, they was trying to kill him. His own family. Can you imagine that? No mother, no father, and now your own uncles and they wives and they family, they trying to kill you. Want you dead because you want to be Muslim. Your wife done died. You know, you got 4 daughters. Just as a man, 4 daughters to take care of, and your wife done passed away. The one that you truly love, you know? These some of us can't even imagine this. Family wanted him dead. While he was trying to be the messenger, he this good guy, and then when he going to certain areas, the town people had the little kids stone them, hit them all in the head and face with big rocks. You know what I mean? Just imagine that, man. You just sitting there, man. You on a peaceful mission. You was one of the good guys. You was loved in the whole community. Now everybody all around, they turning on you just because you Muslim. See, some people think that because they accept Islam, life's supposed to get 1,000 times better. That man was chilling. Rich, wealthy wife, running her business in love. Then he got to become. Then he got to become the prophet and the messenger. Now his family want him dead. You know, the townspeople taking the uterus and the female parts out of a camel and choke while he trying to make salat, while he trying to do some prostration, and they tie the camel stuff around his neck, man, uterus and vagina parts, and try to choke him to death, man. Like when you look at when you look at his life and the narrations, man, and say choked him violently. You know what I mean? With the uterus and the vagina of a camel, man. The same people who loved you. The same people who loved you. You know? Then you find out a plot where all the tribes come together and get one person from the tribe where they all gonna come to sneak into your house and kill you in your bed while you sleep. And they got one person from every tribe, kinda like when some people go to do a crime, everybody gotta shoot the person so that nobody can tell on the other person type stuff, man. So you get aware of the plot, and now you gotta leave in the middle of the night with your best friend, man, and pretty much just whatever you could take with you. You know? And then they show up in the middle of the night to stab him to death, man, in his bed, man. But when they pulled the covers, man, it was, it was somebody else in his bed. But the same people that loved you, they coming to murk you out in the middle of the night just because you Muslim. So don't give up, man. It's not going to be easy. I deal with Muslims every day, man, and I pay close attention, even to myself. I know Muslims that's married and don't want to be. I know Muslims that's married and hate it. Okay? I know Muslims that's not married and want to be. I know Muslims that's married and know somebody that they want to marry, but they just can't bring themselves and bring their lives together to mesh. You know? I know some Muslims that want to be married but can't find nobody, but they know all type of single Muslims, man. This brothers and sisters, man. I know Muslims that's broke. I know Muslims that's broke. And they just want to give up. And then I know Muslims with money that just want to give up, man. You know? I know Muslims that don't have no friends. You know. And they holding on by a thread, man. But when it comes to the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, him and his companions, they never gave up, man. They kept having trust in Allah. And they focused on Jannah, man. This life is a test. We gonna pass these tests. So he even had to start fighting wars. This was a peaceful man. And one thing about fighting wars, what comes along with wars? You got to kill. You know what I'm saying? And see, you might really have to dig deep into history and stuff. Like I'm talking about, he fought. He didn't just say, y'all go do it and then come back and let me know what went on. No, Rasulullah was out there thumping, Zach. You know what I'm saying? One thing I really haven't came across too tough, and I think I understand why, it don't really necessarily discuss how many bodies he have. But they got busy, man. They got busy. You feel what I'm saying? It was a time when they didn't follow orders. And, during the battle, they had one of those sticks with the big ball and the spikes on it. And they caught it with the Rasul, man, and hit him in his mouth, man, in his jaw, where the spike went through and knocked one of his teeth out, punctured a whole hole through his face. They got down on him a little bit. But, people had to run in and get him up off of him, man. He was injured in the battle. And just like, because like how us, sometimes when life get a little difficult, You know, we might ask Allah why and things like that. You know, you the prophet, man, because I put myself in them shoes, man. And I see myself just saying, like, Allah, like, I didn't ask you for this. You know what I'm saying? You came and got me to spread this message, man. The whole town used to love me. Now they hate me. Now they spread lies on me. You know, try to say I done went crazy. I'm a madman. Trying to turn everybody against me. My own family want me dead. You know, I don't really got no parents. You know what I'm saying? I got an uncle who loved me, and he keeping his brothers off of me. My own blood uncles and they wives, they trying to murder me. Like, you know, I'm here. You called me to do this because I had that little bit in me already. Somebody come ask me for some help and ask me for something, and then I'm going through a whole bunch of turmoil, because in my head, I see the turmoil coming. Let me go and get up out of here before it starts. No, Ahmed, and then next thing you know, I'm going through the turmoil, and then they looking at me crazy. Now they mad at me, you know. And I just had that whole like, man, bro, like, man, I'm out here for you. So I know I have it in me, man, but the Rasul, he never did any of that. You know, it's a couple of times when his heart got a little, and, you know, Allah admonished, you know, called him out on it in the Quran. Not as a call out, but let him know. You know what I'm saying? I seen your heart starting to weaken. Had I not strengthened you, you know. Then, outside of fighting the wars, getting stoned by kids, he get poisoned by a woman, man. You know, she gave him a meal, man, and, you know, and poisoned him. And it was a good thing that he didn't eat a whole bunch of it, because, you know, the angel Jabril and them, and, you know, they was around, so, you know, they made him aware. But he had ate some, and he stopped. Y'all don't eat none of this, man. It's poison in it. From some of the narrations, you know what I'm saying? So just that, man. No parents. Your beautiful, wealthy wife. Y'all just kick back enjoying life, man. Beautiful kids. She dies. Gets stoned by little kids. Got to fight wars, multiple wars. Like, really got to be out there in it to win it, man. Doing what you got to do. Then you got to conduct and keep the Muslims in line. You know, some of the punishments that he had to have inflict on people for some of the things that they did, which I won't discuss, but, like, you know, when you get into his life, man, Rasul Allah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was about that action. You know, when you see some of the meetings, man, that he stepped in, like, hey, somebody got to go. Who want to put that work in? You know what I'm saying? When you get into his life, you know, hey, man, so-and-so got to go. What's happening? Who up for it? I was like, boy, the Rasul, boy. But he had to turn into that for the deen. You know what I'm saying? He had to turn into that. When I look through a lot of his life, and it probably just ain't documented, it don't even show, man, where before the Deen of Islam, it don't even show where the Rasul got into an argument. It don't even show if he got into a fight. He was just a loved person by everybody. Good businessman, was able to travel. Everywhere he went, man, the people loved him. Became Muslim, man, became a prophet. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. They start trying to kill the man. You got to get up and flee from your home with just whatever you could carry. Got to go get in a cave, man. Spend some time in the cave, man, with Abu Bakr. You know, done had to leave almost everything you had. It wasn't like no how it is now. You get you a U-Haul truck or something and pack up your beds and all that. You know, they on horses and stuff, man. You know, you just got whatever, how they used to do, man, a little stick and whatever you could tie in something and tie to that stick. You know, just think about that, man. And we be like, man, I'm Muslim, Allah, like, come on. Man, he was the prophet and messenger, man, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And did all of this just so that you and I can have the instructions for Jannah. You know? Just so that the Deen of Islam can reach us. And we destroying it, man. And we destroying it. On top of that, Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has 7 children. And out of 7 children, he seen 6 of them die. All of his sons, the 3 sons he had, died as infants. You know? Yeah, man. 7 children. And he seen 6 of them die, man. And his sons as infants. And may Allah Azza wa Jal protect us all from that. You know? He had 2 daughters that, you know, the other ones, they died as adults. You know, 2 of his daughters, man, was married to Uthman. You know, may Allah have mercy on him and be pleased with him. Because one of them died during the marriage, so the Rasul married him to his other daughter. You know, she died too. 6 kids, man. 6 out of 7 you seen pass away. You know, your wife died, man, and leave you with children. And I emphasize the 4 girls, because the 3 sons died as infants. 4 daughters, man. Single, well, you know, of course he ended up marrying other women, but 4 daughters? Come on, man. As a man, think about that. 4 daughters. And a woman that you love that's holding you down. You run her business. And she dies, bro. Been taking care of you, making sure your life's straight. You know what I'm saying? Good, beautiful, home-cooked meals. And, you know, y'all just madly in love with each other, man. Now, y'all imagine that, man. Some of our problems, man, some of the stuff, man, we go through don't even compare. And I'm just speaking on things in brief, man. Some of this stuff right here, some people wouldn't even be able to pull their mind back together after some of this, man. And he was the prophet and messenger, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And it wasn't sweet. The Muslims came together and slandered his wife, said she was committing adultery. The town people whispering on him, had hypocrites, backstabbers all in his circle, trying to set up the caravans for wars, change the message. He had hypocrites around him, man. Fake Muslim friends, B. Some of them hypocrites because they had business and they wanted to keep their business flourishing by doing business with the Muslims. So he got these type of people around him, man. Lost 77 if I'm not mistaken. We'll just say over 70. Over 70 close companions in one day. Huh? Some of us haven't even lost 10 close companions in a whole lifetime. We all done lost some, but 77 close companions in one day on a mission that they was going to do something for him, and a peace treaty was supposed to be going on. So they going over there to conduct some do some things during the peace treaty, and the people broke the peace treaty and killed them. Imagine carrying the weight of that. Good brothers, all complete hafids of the Quran. If not all, the majority of them. Like knew the tafsirs, all of that. You know what I mean? Had wives, had families. And they going somewhere on, to conduct some things he sent them to do because of a peace treaty. And then the people break the peace treaty and murdered them, bro. Martyred them. Out there on the battlefield, seeing people out there getting busy right alongside of you, and then when it's over with, seeing their bodies mutilated on the ground. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? We ain't cut like that. But you know what I'm saying? And some of us, we act entitled because we accepted Islam, some of us. You know what I'm saying? Some of us act entitled, man, because we accepted Islam. What about Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, man? Lost 6 kids? You seen 6 out of your 7 children pass away? You know what I'm saying? How could you not walk around saying, Allah, you called me for this? You feel me? I gotta sit up here and lose kids? What are you doing to me? I'm out here fighting wars, getting hit in the face with a spike ball and my tooth knocked all up out my mouth. What are you doing to me, man? What is this? You see what I'm saying? Because, Ben Vereen or something like that. He was the first person I heard say this. He like an actor. He was like for anybody you know him, man. He was like he was like a multi-star. Like he could sing, he could dance, he could tap dance, he could play like piano, and he was a real good actor. But he had a daughter who was just as talented as him, but she was real young, like 7 or 8, and she died in a real bad car wreck, and I seen him in an interview years later. I was a kid though watching the interview. But you know, my parents then was crazy about dude. He actually played Will Smith, real father, on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, for, you know, people who don't know who he is. But anyway, he was in an interview and they was asking him how he dealt with it. And dude said, man, I was mad at God. I got mad at God. I was mad at God for a very long time. I was mad at God for some years. He said, man, I cursed God. And I'm mentioning that because later on in life, when I learned about what the Rasul went through, see, alhamdulillah, I read the Sealed Nectar before I seen the movie The Message. So I remember reading the Sealed Nectar, man, and was shedding a few tears. But you know, thinking about the losses the Rasul had, and I remember how dude said, you know, he cursed God, he was mad at God. And I'm like, man, the Rasul lost 6 children. 6 children. Not all like at once. You know, like some people lose their family in a house fire or a plane crash or a car wreck or something, like all at once. But like lose one, few years later lose another one, get a dose, have a whole life with them, lose some more. You know, that's, and you know, there's never any references of him being upset, man. You know, you see somewhere like when his sons died, you know, they got some narrations and stuff about how bad he cried, you know. But he was the prophet. You know what I'm saying? He didn't get like Sunnah. I would have been like, hey, Allah, hey, did it, man. I quit. I quit, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm finna go to my cubby hole, man. I'm just gonna have to, you know what I'm saying? But I'm done, man. You know what I'm saying? Had all these wives, man, that he had to take care of, man. Like I said, man, they slandered his wife. And you know, when you read the hadiths and the stuff about what, you know, he going to his other wives, man, like, man, y'all think Aisha would do that? You know what I'm saying? You know, he was affected. Like, y'all keep it real with me, man. Y'all think Aisha did that? You know what I'm saying? He was human. And he loved Aisha more than he loved them. You know? Going to his wives, man, they comforting him. Like, man, y'all keep it real, man. You think Aisha, man, really did that with dude? But then still had to sit around the house with her. Still had to be intimate with her. And treat her accordingly. Until Allah let him know what was what. You know? Man, that's difficult, man. That's difficult. You know what I'm saying? It's even showing, man, where people, even if they was hypocrites and stuff, man, they would just come knock on his door and asking for stuff to be annoying. And he would just sometimes just give away everything. You know what I'm saying? And be like, man, I don't want, you know, like, you know, he thought about the future. I don't want them saying, you know, that the Muslims had a prophet that was stingy. It was some people that, you know, they had the meetings about. You know what I'm saying? And the Rasul was like, nah, leave them be, man, because, you know, in the future, I don't want them saying, you know, the Muslim prophet used to kill his own people. You know? That farsightedness. He's sitting up after a khutbah, educating the people, and the people used to just ask him a whole bunch of questions, and just some of them was trying to be annoying and irritating, man. You know, the Bedouins coming up, you know, like they say, man, the Bedouins was just real ignorant and uncouth. And they just used to come up and yell through his windows, you know. It's like, man, he was the prophet, man. So I'm saying, man, y'all think about that, man, and y'all sit on that, and then just think about the times he's up making salat until his feet bleed, making dua and stuff for us, for the Muslims that he know never going to get a chance to see him or meet him, and going to believe in him just based off stuff we heard. You know what I'm saying? Some of us going to be stronger believers than some of the people that was around him, because it was hypocrites around him. He up making dua for us, referring to us as his brothers, his sisters, man. Don't give up, man. Don't give up, man. You got to think about Jannah, man. Even if, because it's a hadith that say, man, it's going to come a time, man, where the Muslim is just going to be alone with whatever little property they have, man, so they could be alone with Allah and their religion, man. You know? If you even read about his other companions, I got a little, let me see if it's on this bookshelf, I'll grab it, man. I got it's a 2-part book. It's called The Shining Stars of the Prophet Companions. Right? Every morning, and you know, I don't mind admitting this, man. Every morning before I went to work, you know, I used to work early in the morning, so after Fajr, right, I would read from The Shining Stars. And every morning I was crying, man. Because I didn't know some of them died the way that they did. You know what I'm saying? So like, I would be reading and then I'm crying, close the book up, go get ready for work. Then the next day after Fajr, pick it up again. Now I got to pick it back up and continue on the next page. And now I'm crying even more. Like, I didn't know they did Uthman the way that they did him. I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people don't really talk about what the Rasul and the companions went through. You know, I'm reading the Seal Nectar, man, seeing how they would tie them to the back of horses, either by their legs or their hands, and drag them through the streets, trying to get them to say they won't be Muslim no more, and they wouldn't even do it. Some of the stuff they did to Bilal, where they described as Bilal got older, man, the way his skin was, because they was basically cooking him. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to keep in mind, we talking about some serious desert heat, and they had these big shields. So they would make these big old metal, basically like a wok, like a Chinese wok, just to give you an idea of it. It's basically almost like a wok. And they would put them in it and tie them up in it, right? Where they can't get out of the wok, and let them just burn up in the in front of the under that sun. And then they would take like these leaves, right, and put the leaves on them and throw a bunch of water on them so it was steaming them. Put the little water and stuff on them so it's steaming them, man. Where they skin and like where they would whip them and stuff, man, like, and the gashes would be open, and now they done steamed them because they wanted them to denounce Islam. You know, take one arm and this arm, tie it to a horse, and hit both of the horses and run and stretch them and pull their butt, shoulder and stuff all out of socket, man. Just so that Islam could reach us. And some of us, man, be ready to leave Islam, man, because we broke up with some over a divorce or a breakup, didn't get the job, don't got the kind of car we want, material stuff, man. But y'all don't give up, man. I mean, like, even when you look at some of them, man. Like, look what they did to Ali, man. Look what the Muslims started doing to each other, man. If y'all really get into that part of it, you really get into the history for real of the companions, man. The backdooring, making up fake letters, trying to steal the Khalifa and the Caliphate, and it was like really backdooring each other, bro. And that beauty, man, of what Islam really is, man. You just have to really get into your deen and connect with the essence of it. Because like I said, man, some of us start getting entitled, feeling like Allah owe us something because we accepted Islam. And the Quran tell us, man, don't be treating this deen, man, like it's a favor, like you done did Allah a favor. You get what you earn, man. That's what this deen is about, man. You got to earn Jannah, man. You got to do what you got to do so that Allah guide you on this path, man. And if you get so focused on a worldly life, you just might miss the mark, man. This is about getting to Jannah, you understand? So you're going to be alone. You're going to have some difficult days, man. You might be connected to some people that you don't want to be connected to, man. But when stuff done fi sabilillah, and then you just got to get educated, man, because in this damn time, people will have you on a deen of nothing, man. And they'll just turn you into a hateful person, man. Like, just imagine me, and I'm finna be quiet after this, man. I gotta give me a few rak'ahs in, man. My alarm keep clicking. It's that time. So, imagine me just sitting up here saying, look, y'all listen to me on here. Y'all not allowed to listen to nobody else but me. I got like 2-3 other people. They the only people y'all can listen to. If you don't listen to them, you off it. You know what I'm saying? And I only got this much education. Y'all better start using your brain, man. You know what I'm saying? I only got this much education, and I'm done with school. So that means if I got this much education, then you only gonna get this much. You understand? And then on top of that, we really not gonna know what's to your education for real, because I'm not gonna check your knowledge. I'm not gonna test you. Don't let it happen, man. This is about trying to get to Jannah, man. So like I said, man, you're going to be alone, man. And may Allah Azza wa Jal protect us from the things that the Rasul had to go through. Even just the way the Muslims had to pack up and leave everything that they had and walk and ride donkeys, or had donkeys carry the little bit that they had and walk from Mecca to Medina, man, in desert heat, 120, 130, leaving everything, your business, your home, the kuffar taking it all, taking your bed, everything, food you got in there. just because you want to be Muslim, man. It's not going to be easy, man. It's not going to be easy for male or female, man. And then sometimes we just not getting what we want, man. This is an ayah that I always pay attention to, man. That Quran tells us, man, believing women are for believing men. Ill-mannered women are for ill-mannered men. And some people, man, you just not going to connect, man, because you're trying to connect with the wrong person. And that's why I be a little bit strict, man, because if you ill-mannered before we ever meet face to face, that Quran ayat gonna come into my mind. Like, even for some sisters, I done seen some sisters, man, brothers was truck drivers. These real examples. They was truck drivers. Got a little bread, right? Prime example, man. Good truck driving dude. He had a real big house in Atlanta, right? That's where he was from. Got the sister, man, took care of her to get out there to Atlanta. He could take care of everything. Nice house. All in the cut. Little lake close to the house and all that. But the man was on drugs. The man was on drugs. He didn't tell her. He had the money. He could do his drugs, though. You know what I'm saying? But once she figured out that he was on drugs, and then he got comfortable enough to just do drugs in front of her, she didn't want to stay in a marriage. But he had the money to take care of everything. Outside of the drugs, he was an ideal person. So, when sisters be like, man, that's a good brother. He check all the boxes off my list. He the height I want. He the skin color I want. He make the kind of money I want. But the brother be like, I'm going to be honest with you. I love smoking marijuana. I probably ain't going to never stop. You know what I'm saying? But I pray, I fast, I handle business, I could take care of you. And the sister be like, nah. I don't want to marry no man that smoke marijuana. They can have their things, but when brothers say, you could check all the boxes, but you got some things that's considered to be ill-mannered. And then I can see what ain't gonna matter, because the Quran say, man, an ill-mannered woman is for an ill-mannered brother, man. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's why when I be seeing people who really get in a marriage and it just be turmoil, but on some real stuff, man, they both really be ill-mannered. That Quran ayat always come to my mind. But man, let me get up out of here, man, and get these rakats in, man. Hey, y'all don't give up, man. Y'all think about that, man. Think about that, what the Rasul went through. And there's even more. This is just a little bit that I'm discussing, because this stuff is traumatic. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam still held his head, and he was the prophet. Man, assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, man. Don't give up, man. Keep your du'as up, man, and ask Allah for strength, man. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.